A little bit different than the FTR. We bought a Challenger. Brand new 2022. Still have both FTRs. They're not going anywhere. Well, guys, things spiraled in the past 2 years. This is pretty much sitting how I want it to sit. There's really not much else I can buy or install in this thing other than getting into the engine. So what I'll do in this video, I've owned this for almost 2 years now, and we'll go through, we'll do a counterclockwise walk around, we'll go through the costs, which is a little ridiculous, and we'll cover the mods one by one. So anyway, so start up front. So obviously we have the Forever Rad Baja LP6 front headlight. I tried the Indian adaptive headlight and the 2023 redesigned headlight. This by far is the most amazing thing out there. And then what I did was I got a thing of Laminex and cut it to fit and tinted it. Same thing with these, so this all matches. This kit right here is $1,000. Comes with the light, the harness, and the mounting bracket. That's a complete bolt-on installation other than just trimming up here a little bit. Since this was a base model, I did have to buy all the non-base model black trim instead of painting the chrome. That was about, I think with all the trim pieces and like the little plaques and everything, that was about $500. Under here we have the GPS unit that also is $500. This windshield, I think they're $200 from Clockworks. This is the smaller flared windshield that they can get. We'll talk about the carbon in a minute. Down here we have the Forever Rad Screamin' Fab FTR fender, carbon fiber fender kit. It's basically just this bracket back here that allows you to run a carbon fiber fender from an FTR. It's a little bit cheaper than buying the full dressy fender in carbon fiber, and this one looks a little bit more sporty. Coming down here we have our SMT 17-inch race wheels with the SMT rotors. Oh, sorry, this was about $400 for this full kit. The wheels with the rotors, when you buy them new, it's about $5,000. They can do different sizes. I wanted the 17 inches because race bike. Coming back over here, we have our Forever Rad 2-inch cartridge kit from Big Bear plus the 1-inch spacer. Look up here, you can see the 1-inch spacer up here. If I didn't have that, this would just be flush with this. So these are fully adjustable front forks. That kit, I think $1,700 maybe. Come down here, we have our NOCO lithium battery, NLP 20. That shaves a little over 10 pounds off the front of the bike. That I think is $175. I come over here, we have our Sick Bagger Company crash bars, front and rear. The set of these is around $1,000. Since we're already down here, we have our floorboard Baja designed S2 Pro light kit. You can get yellow lens or clear lens, whichever one you prefer. This kit with the switch and everything is around $500, the mounting brackets and all that stuff. Going over here, we have our C3 performance floorboards. As you can see underneath, everything's milled out, and then we have these spacers here so you can actually move these up or down depending on how aggressive you want, with his matching heel and brake levers along with the rear. So the set of these, again, about $1,000. Come over here to our stage 1 intake. This doesn't really do that much for performance, but if you have a newer bike that can't be tuned yet, it comes with the stage 1 flash card. The stage 1 flash card is what you really want if you want to run an exhaust. Before I got this bike tuned, I did have my full toast exhaust with the stage 1 Indian flash, and it worked great. Obviously the tune is a little bit better, aftermarket tune, but the Indian stage 1 flash works pretty good. So that comes with this intake kit. Coming up here, we have our Barnstorm kit. Obviously this kit can vary in price depending on your riser setup and your handlebar setup, and if you go with the Behringer controls. I did not do that. I want to say the kit all in is like $2,300 ish, give or take, depending which risers you went with. I went with the Roland Sands risers because it's kind of cool, the OD bars and the stock controls. So then you have to buy a $100 spacer that goes in there from Sick Bagger Company. And then I also opted for the Sick Bagger Company solid bushings up here to make this all nice and stable. OD grips, I think they're like $70. These are the Vans editions. I had the Heartluck editions and hated them, and they wore out within a year, so switched to these, hopefully a little bit better. I had PSR levers. They're about 300 bucks. I didn't like them, I hated them, so I ended up selling them, and I just went back to these stock levers until somebody comes up with a more sporty design lever. And we come over here, there's a little bit more carbon, we'll cover that later. I have these Brave Wolf decal kit. I think this is a $250 kit. Obviously, he makes different color here. You can get red, blue, black, all that stuff with the carbon fiber. And then there's another strip up here, and then one that goes down the bag. You can see that on his website. Coming back down here, more carbon, we'll talk about that. This is just all more carbon stuff, we'll cover that. Saddleman step-up seat. I actually got this used from over at Hardcore Cycles. I think new, the step-up seat, depending on the options and stitching and all that stuff, is around 500 bucks. Down here we have our Toast 2.0 exhaust system. This is for the regular bore kit, it's not for the big bore kit. And then it runs back to here. As you notice, I have my wife's muffler on her FTR in here. I'm just experimenting because normally the muffler kind of comes out to here. So this is a little bit louder, but it does sound pretty cool. And then this also has the Toast subframe kit. So when I had the stock bags, I had bag supports coming off the subframe back here. With the Toast exhaust system and that subframe kit, you're looking around $2,300 ish. It also cleans up the bike very nicely because you don't have the things that hang down here. But I'm currently using the TNA back supports. We'll come around over here. What I did was for this, for more weight savings, TNA does make a carbon thing that goes right here, but I went a little bit more racy, so what I did was I took this stock bracket, cut all the mounting hardware off, and shaved quite a good bit of weight from the metal piece plus all the bracketry over there. And then we did a speaker delete with some carbon fiber panels. I don't know how I feel about that. I might just put the stock mesh back on. And then this is the light for those lights down there and switch. See, let's go through my notes, see if I missed anything. Oh, that's pretty much about it. Oh, sorry, I did miss something. Finished this last night. That is your Forever Rad brake caliper. So I got this in raw just because I like everything silver and black. And then what it does is it uses a Brembo caliper off of the front of the bike, and it comes back on the rear. This thing works amazingly. It's amazing the pedal pressure differences between this and the stock one. And then I also bought a used swing arm off eBay for 100 bucks and painted it so that way I could just swap it right in and out. But unfortunately, you don't really get to see that too often. And then over here, we have a Reu torque drive clutch. It's not out yet. We're still testing on that. But that's the only thing I have done to the engine. So the only thing that's done to the engine performance-wise is Lloyd's Garage Tune. Forgot to mention that. It's also $500 to $600 depending on if you get it done at a dealer or email your ECU in. This clutch and the full exhaust. So, then we're going to talk about the carbon a little bit. Obviously, we have our FTR front fender, the cowl from TNA, TNA dash center, TNA cover over here, and then there would be an ignition cover on the other side if I didn't do what I did. These pieces here, these are actually real carbon. You can see what they do is it's just basically your stock panels. I'll put that on then. Your stock panels basically just double-sided tape, so this and this just pull off. Got the hinge cover, lid, bag. We have his license plate mount, fender. Over here, if you look, you can kind of see back in here, this is also the carbon fiber back supports. So if you look underneath, there's nothing there other than just this, which keeps the whole bag nice and sturdy. And the grand cost of the carbon fiber kit before tax and shipping is around 14 grand. So it is a hefty price tag. It was by far the most money I spent on one particular thing. If you do buy the whole kit, he will give you 20% off the whole kit, which is actually a pretty decent deal considering how expensive it is. And that leads me to a grand total of $34,000 in mods I have on this bike, which is kind of crazy when you look at it. It doesn't look that much different from stock unless you're sitting beside a stock bike. And then when I added everything up, I went on my insurance and upped my accessory coverage to, I think, $25,000 accessory coverage, and it only raised my premium another $200 a year, which isn't bad. So if I wreck it, I will recoup some of the money. And then also I kept pretty much every single stock part. So if for some reason I need to sell this bike, or something new comes out and I want to get rid of this one for another Indian, the bike will basically go back to stock as much as possible. And then all the aftermarket parts get sold, so you don't lose your ass there. I've always done that with all my bikes. You always make a decent amount of money back on selling your aftermarket parts versus selling the bike with the aftermarket parts installed. And especially dealerships don't want highly modded bikes. Like if I took this to a dealership, chances are they wouldn't want it on the floor. So that is my 2-year update on the Challenger. I don't think I missed anything. Obviously, if you go through my playlist down at the bottom, I'll put the link in the description out at the bottom of the videos from stock when I first started putting the Dark Horse stuff on to the point where we are now. I didn't do a video on that Caliper because that's pretty much straightforward. Just follow your owner's manual or your maintenance manual. But everything else is documented pretty well. But if you have any more questions, just DM me on here, comment on here, or DM my Instagram. Thanks for following my my expenditure journey, guys.